All right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, again to Convincing Idiots. I am Dean, one of the idiots. The concept of this show, as you might as well know already, there's three of us. We are of three different generations. 1, 2, 3. I am the middle child, the Goldilocks. I'm the Zennial, and we have I don't even know where we're at. I think Nick might be above me.
Hard to say. I'll never be looking at any of you because my camera's over here, but you guys are here, so there's that. Yes, I'm Millennial, Nick, friend of the other show members, and happy to be back.
It'd be weird if you weren't.
Yes.
And
keep showing up.
And the big one next to us, right here. And we're pretty sure that we're given the space given on the size of beards.
Yeah.
So that is why.
Yeah.
Brian here.
Yeah, just naturally, that's how this app works. It does like a facial recognition. Biggest beard, you get the most space.
So is my picture very small in the corner then?
It's going to be a postage stamp.
Okay.
Yeah. I am very small in the corner when I look at you guys. Yeah. So I'm Brian. I represent Generation X. I'm slurring my words already. So what are we talking about here today, Dean?
Well, real quick, before we get to the topic on hand for the week, I'm going to do what is called a little bit of house cleaning, okay? Mm-hmm. I just want to know before we start, Nick, what are you drinking tonight?
What's that?
I said, Nick, what are you drinking tonight?
Beer.
Brian's already slurring his words.
Oh, I'm drinking some Edgy Elf. I'm doing a little Christmassy stuff here.
Nice.
There you have it. I have a very dad-like beer, a Genesee Light.
It came with the beard.
It did come, yes.
Go.
Right.
You get, if you go to the grocery with this beard, you get a free 6-pack of either Genesee or Stroh's.
And a bowl of soup.
And a free bowl of soup, exactly right. Yeah.
Now, do you have to have the all-white New Balances on in order to get this too, or is it just the beard?
No, just the beer. You walk up and they measure it.
Right. Ooh, that's nice.
There's a guy has like a little prong thingy, and he says, "Okay, you fit the criteria. You may take your 6 of Genesee or Stroh's."
Okay.
So
there you go.
Yeah.
Good to know.
I want to be you just for a day. Just for a day. I just want to be you for a day.
Yeah.
Well, right, yeah. I'm drinking Leinenkugel Snow Drift Vanilla Porter. So
very good. That's a good one.
With that all cleaned up, Brian, what are we talking about today?
Well, today we should add too that we're still obviously remote.
Yes.
Because we had to quarantine another week. Dean and I were exposed to COVID-19. Fortunately, we're okay. Everybody around us.
I can't go have fun with anybody because.
Yeah. We'll get back next episode. We'll get back in the basement here and
2 episodes.
We'll work on making your skull cranium ashtrays we talked about in the horror episode here.
Yeah.
So
also, can I say something?
Go ahead, Nick.
That would just be fun to say. Quick shout out to our 2% of listeners in Canada, 2% in the Netherlands, 2% in Singapore, and 2% in Germany, Deutschland. So look at that. We're multinational. Now, there's 2% of an estimated 12 listeners. Who knows? It's.
That's right.
This podcast,
thanks for listening.
Goddamn globetrotting.
That's right. That's right. You are listening to a global podcast or watching a global video. A sensation is what it is.
It's a pretty big deal.
Guys, we're global idiots.
Yes.
Look at that.
Our dumbness cannot be confined to the United States.
That's right.
Yeah.
Spilling over.
Well, speaking of the United States, that's a good segue into what we're talking about tonight. So this is Thursday the 5th, and at this point, we still do not know who our new president is going to be. They're still counting the votes. By the time that this airs, you may or may not know. And your candidate out there may win or may not win, and we're not talking about that today. We thought a good topic would be, both of these guys. I mean, let's face it, both of these candidates, these are L2, 70-plus-year-old white guys I heard some stats there. If I'm not mistaken, Bill Clinton and George Bush are still not as old as the two candidates today. I think
Really?
that's correct.
Yeah, I heard that too.
That's
Yeah.
real.
Isn't that
Holy-
insane?
Yeah.
And these guys were presidents in the 90s.
That is insane.
Right. Well, Barack Obama is what? Is he still in his 50s or early 60s?
Yeah.
No, he's still
Something like
50s.
that?
Yeah, I think late 50s.
Yeah.
And he looks good. He
He
looks
does.
like a fictional president.
Right. He
He's
does.
out there hitting jump shots and water skiing and doing all kinds of cool shit. Yeah.
Right. So we thought, hey, listen, there's a lot of good, strong, fun, fictional U.S. presidents out there. Let's talk about them. These are guys who, or women, that we found intriguing, funny, whatever reason. These are some of our personal favorite fictional U.S. presidents. These could be movies, TV, animated, whatever. We've kept it completely wide open. So we're going to talk about our lists, and then we'll do a little bit of comparing. And there you have it. So, Nick, why don't we start with you? Who do you have on your list? We'll go through our list individually, and then we'll compare and contrast and all that.
Sure. All right.
Now-
So we're
Now, Nick, are you doing one to five? Are you going like best to worst, your least favorite to best favorite, or is yours in no particular order?
I would figure I've actually got mine listed from 1 through 5. I'm going to start at the bottom, though, up to my favorite.
Okay.
So my favorite, the last one I mentioned will be my favorite fictional president of all time.
All right.
So at number 5 here, I have President James Dale. That is Jack Nicholson in Mars Attacks. That is coming in at number 5 there. Number 3, I have I don't have his I think Brian might have him on his list. Bill Pullman's character in Independence Day. Do you have the name
Thomas
there, Brian?
Whitmore.
Tom Whitmore.
Tom Whitmore. There we
yeah.
go.
Yeah.
There we go. Coming in at number 3, I have President David Palmer from the popular TV series 24, played by Dennis Haysbert, who was also the Allstate guy, I believe. So I think the country felt in good hands when David Palmer was the presiding president.
Real quick, Nick's not going to be able to answer this, but I think Brian is. Is that who you think of his character? Do you think of the President Palmer or the Allstate guy when you think of him?
It's also hard for me to. I still think of Serrano from Major League.
Thank you. Yes, me too.
That's such a great role for him. Yeah.
Fuck you, Joe Boo. I do it myself.
Yes. Classic.
I was going to say, I did always, when the Allstate commercials started, because he was on 24 prior to that, if I recall. So when those started, I was like, oh, it's President Palmer from 24.
Right.
And then now it's been so long with those commercials, he's just the Allstate guy at this point.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, when he was president, it was like, oh, there's Serrano as the president. This is very weird.
Yeah. It's like Superman. He grew hair, and nobody now knows.
That's right. What else do you have, Nick?
At number 2, and this is close, and this is kind of cheating a little bit, but it is a fictional presidency. Number 2, almost number 1, is Al Gore as president on a Saturday Night Live sketch, where it takes place, I believe, I don't remember what year exactly they did it. I want to say it was 2005 or 6. I could be wrong, could be 04, something like that. But it takes place in an alternate reality where Al Gore had won in 2000. And he comes on and makes the address to the nation and talks about how they're in this big gas crisis. And at the time, gas, in real life is sky high. It's historically high. And he goes on to say that he knows that they have a gas crisis, which is his fault. They have entirely too much gas because they've completely solved climate change, and cars run on trash now, and it's hilarious. If you can, go YouTube Al Gore Saturday Night Live presidency, I guess, or whatever. It's really funny. My number 1 is a slam dunk for me. That would be President James Marshall from Air Force One, Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
He kicks ass. I mean, he saves his family. He saves Air Force One. He saves the whole damn country. He saved the galaxy multiple times. I mean, it's hard to disagree with Harrison Ford, but Harrison Ford, the Al Gore one was close because I love it dearly and it's so comical to me, the premise of that sketch. But yeah, man, the Harrison Ford one's that's a great movie. It's a great action movie. Yeah, I'd take him as my president any day.
Very good. Dean, what do you got?
All right. I have a few that cross over there with Nick. Number 5, going where he left up number 1, James Marshall, Harrison Ford on Air Force One.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, I really stuck to that one, given that it's Harrison Ford. All right. Then I have Thomas Whitmore, Bill Pullman, Independence Day. And then number 3, I have Tom Kirkman, played by Kiefer Sutherland in Designated Survivor.
Yeah, that was solid. That was a solid show.
Yeah.
Didn't last that long though, eh? It was only like
no,
2 seasons?
it did one last season on Netflix.
Okay.
You're right. Yeah.
ABC canceled it, and then they Netflix picked up one last season.
Okay.
And then I have Andrew Shepard with Michael Douglas and The American President.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then number 1, Jed Bartlett from Martin Sheen on The West Wing.
Nice.
All right,
Very
all
good.
solid. All right, we got a couple overlaps here, so we have 2 that made all 3 of our lists, and mine's in no particular order. Sorry about that. I just kind of. So I also have James Marshall, Harrison Ford, Air Force One. I also have Thomas Whitmore, Independence Day, Bill Pullman.
Yep.
I've got I have one overlap with Nick, David Palmer, 24.
There we go.
And I also have Mr. Garrison from Park, where he plays a Trump character, which is just hilarious. If you watch South Park, still one of the smartest shows on TV, in my opinion, since the 90s. Yeah. I was a big fan of the Parks and Rec TV show with Amy Poehler and all those guys. The finale went ahead in the future, and Leslie was the president. So just in that one episode, I thought that was pretty cool to see Leslie rise up to the presidency. It was pretty awesome. And then one of my favorites from the animated show Futurama, the Nixon head. So if you're a fan of Futurama, they preserve celebrities and all that. There's a head floating in a jar, and Nixon has retained his presidency in the future is just a head. Pretty hilarious. If check out the clips on YouTube. President Nixon is in the future. That's what I got.
Nice.
All right, so you guys are talking what's that?
I was gonna say we got some solid lists there, and definitely some overlap on. I think Bill Pullman and Harrison Ford.
I mean, okay, well let's start there. Okay, so since those 2 are the 2 that we have overlapped, who is the better president between those 2? And what have
well, and when we see them, they're both dealing with very, very different scenarios.
Right.
Both a threat, but on different levels, for sure, different sizes.
I mean, do you think Harrison Ford would he have done better if he had Jeff Goldblum and Will Smith helping him out?
Well, he does have experience flying a spaceship in another movie.
That's true.
Yeah, it is true.
Valid
that is
point.
True. He's outrun boulders very well in his time.
What's that?
I said he's outrun boulders. I don't see why he can't outrun, aliens or whatever.
Yes. I don't know. I mean, as far as the stakes are concerned in the movies, certainly Bill Pullman had larger stakes when he's trying to save the entire Earth. Right?
Well, you also, look at the speeches they gave. I mean, you have that historic, even fictional, it's historic speech that he gives just before they go and fight the aliens at the last, in the last battle. Harrison Ford had the most famous thing he had was "Get off my plane," which was badass. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it didn't really live up exactly to the speech that Bill Pullman gave.
Yeah. Now refresh my memory with Bill Pullman. Was there a lot of hand-to-hand combat, things like that? Did he actually get his hands dirty much in that movie?
He flew a jet.
Okay.
Yeah, he was a former fighter pilot in the movie, and he got back in the plane to fight the alien ships.
That's right.
To stay and try to allow Randy Quaid to fly up into. Well, no, actually, no. I take that back. It was Jeff Goldblum and no, it was Randy Quaid and Jeff Goldblum, wasn't it?
Right. They were making, they made the path for Randy Quaid to get up there, but in order for that to work, Jeff Goldblum and Will Smith had to, crash their spaceship into the mothership for the shields to get shut down.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know. It's just go ahead.
I was just saying, I mean, what a great, it might be one of the best cheesy movies, which it could be another episode in itself, but what a great, just popcorn cheesy movie.
It's a lot of fun. It was a fun movie.
It is.
Yeah, both those guys though, it's really a fantasy that an American president would be such a badass,
yeah.
Right?
It truly
and
is.
You who think of all the presidents in our lifetime.
How many are actually getting down and dirty and saving people?
In our living lifetime, because there was one in the presidency. Well, there have been a couple. Teddy Roosevelt. Teddy Roosevelt, in a stump speech outside a hotel room, was shot. He was shot by a would-be assassin. The bullet went through his note cards in his pocket and went into him, and he's bleeding. And he tells the people, I can't remember the exact quote, but he said, "As you know that I've been shot, but my speech must continue." And he finished the speech. And when I say finished the speech, he finished 2 hours of speech with a bullet in him, and then went inside to get treated.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
It's pretty kick-ass.
Whiskey on it or something like that,
Yeah.
I mean,
people that time really were a different breed.
Yeah.
Well, I think I recall a documentary where Abraham Lincoln fought vampires or something.
Oh, I think
Did you ever see that?
I saw a biopic on that, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. That was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Now, would you consider that to be on the list? I mean, could you put him on the list? Given that
does he count? Because it's not a fictional presidency. It's a fictional story, but he was a president.
That was a good book, and the movie version was fun. If you haven't seen Abraham Lincoln versus Vampires or whatever that is, I mean, that is
Vampire
a fun movie.
Slayer, isn't it? Yeah, or something.
That's it. Abraham Lincoln Vampire Killer or Vampire Hunter or Slayer or something like that. It's definitely worth a view. All right, so let's say, what about presidents in our lifetime? So, I mean, Obama, pretty bad.
Obama could kick somebody's ass, I feel.
Obama's going to be able to beat somebody up.
Yeah, I mean, he's fit. He's cool. I mean, he could.
Why?
I wouldn't want to tangle with Obama. I don't think.
No, I mean, I don't. If you put him up against a UFC fighter, no. But I mean, I feel like in hand-to-hand combat, like just a regular dude, someone decent match, I mean, more so than any of the other presidents.
I can see another guy gets on the Air Force One, Obama kicking his ass out of there. I can see that.
Okay, so
especially with the girls on there, and Michelle, he's going out.
In this question that we have, the current day presidents, now are you talking about in their presidency or in their prime? Because I think George Bush, HW, whatever, I think in his prime, being the drunk that he was, he'd probably get in a lot of bar fights, or he probably hold his.
In the presidency, it had to be in the presidency.
Okay, I was gonna say, younger days. I mean, I'd probably most of them. You gotta have some sort of arrogance or cockiness to be able to run for positions like that. And when you're younger and you're more fit and quicker and things like that, surely those guys got into some scraps.
All right, so between polls, what?
I don't know about the current president. I can't see Trump, even in his younger days, getting in fisticuffs.
No.
He'd fight with his words, and by fight I mean bitch slap with his words.
Yeah.
And then when he gets bitch slapped.
All right. So between the two, James Marshall, Harrison Ford, or Thomas Whitmore, Independence Day, who is the better badass president in the movie? I go with Bill Pullman personally. Stakes are higher, great speech, heroic, saves the world, all that stuff. All the stuff would be just spectacular to see on an actual sitting president. That's who I got. What do you guys think?
Nick, go ahead.
I do. I'm torn. I agree. There's a part of me that thinks, yeah, I agree, and you're not wrong on any of that stuff. Definitely stakes are higher. There are heroics involved. Harrison Ford's defense is a little more gritty, a little more personal. So there's that kind of badassery going on. It's hard to pick, but as far as if you were in each one of those situations, let's put it this way, I would be more thankful for Bill Pullman because he literally saved the entire planet.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I mean, yes, are there repercussions if, they take over Air Force One and who knows what happens from there? Yeah, but in the immediacy of these films, I think Bill Pullman's it's the bigger risk, therefore the bigger reward, and I think I would give it to him. Although, if now along those same lines, if you put President Harrison Ford versus President Bill Pullman, I think Harrison Ford kicks his ass.
Well, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, because I think of it. I mean, are we looking at badassery, or are we looking at who was a good president? Because the two movies, Bill Pullman, they gave you a whole movie of showing kind of how he dealt with the presidency and how he dealt with people. You only got a snapshot of Harrison Ford, which was a lot of on a plane and hiding until he got to beat up a bad guy, which was badass. I mean, he kicked ass, but I think Bill Pullman showed a lot more of, presidential, fortitude.
Yeah.
So I would go with Bill.
Okay.
I don't have the full pamphlet on either one of those presidents. I don't know where they stood on climate change, so I can't really say. But
We'll have to read their positions. All right, so we're going to pause here. So I think that, so it seems our consensus of all of our presidents on our list, the overall most powerful badass, Bill Pullman gets the edge slightly because in part we got to see him being more presidential in the movie, right? So, all right, so we're going to take a break here, guys.
Real quick before we take a break, I just got something that popped in my head. You mentioned about you weren't sure of their positions. Now, John F. Kennedy, would his position have been back and to the left? Never mind. Go ahead.
I think he preferred the missionary position, if I'm not not mistaken.
That's right.
There.
He had multiple.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to take a break and we're going to come back and see where else we overlapped and keep working through our lists of best U.S. fictional presidents. All right, guys, we will be back.